Hello and welcome to my magic and K-pop related channel. Today we're going to discuss a number of questions that I see answered on other YouTube channels that in my opinion result in fear, panic and K-pop fans not being able to enjoy the music or to support their favorite artists without feeling like something bad is going to happen or that they do something wrong. My intention here is to give you the facts the best I can, and I'm just going to offer a different perspective, okay? I do not promote or endorse any kind of religion, and I believe that you should use your own judgment and information to make good decisions. So I'm someone that has done extensive research in magic and the paranormal in the past, both black and white magic. So because of that, I have spoken to many people who claim to be spiritual Satanists or who are spiritual Satanists. And today we're going to explore and see, are K-pop groups also Satanists? Are like the spawn of Satan that I see on other channels? Did they really sold their souls for fame and money? And what's going on? Are you in danger if you like listen to them? Are they going to do something to you? And all of that. Before we start, one thing that I want everyone to know is that the worst thing you can do to yourself when it comes to spiritual attacks is to have no religion, or to have a religion that you follow in a lackluster way and you don't really know what's going on. I say that because every religion has specific measures against spiritual attacks and anyone who wants to harm you, but you have to be a true believer. So please, no matter what your religion is, I believe that you should practice it, you should empower yourself, and you should arm yourself with knowledge. That's the most important thing you can do for yourself, and it's going to keep you much safer compared to someone who is an atheist or someone who is an agnostic, or even worse, someone who is subscribing to dangerous movements such as like nihilism, antinatalism, and so on. The one thing that we are going to all agree here is that K-pop definitely has a lot of satanic symbolism, and by satanic symbolism I'm going to explain to you the difference between spiritual and non-spiritual Satanism. In non-spiritual Satanism, like Anton LaVey, who was the original pioneer of that movement, they believe mainly that Satan is an idea, that there is no entity such as Satan, and that it's a metaphor to empower yourself and essentially live a life of the rules that you make as you go. On spiritual Satanism, on the other hand, it's basically polytheism. Like, there is Satan who is the central creator of humanity, and according to them, and there are several different categories and types of demons. And if someone is a spiritual Satanist, they have to worship and learn about that. Now this is where things get interesting. Many demons have sigils that you can actually draw them somewhere, or draw them and then burn them. There are several techniques that honestly I don't know them to the extent that I could teach them, like it's only what I knew from my investigations and learning from other people. So mainly sigils are protective, and you're going to see in K-pop groups and in K-pop videos that you're going to see many symbols that I believe that whoever placed them there knew their meaning, because how did they randomly appear? You know, it's very difficult. I was originally planning to make a video and show you different stuff, but it's so difficult. I believe it takes a very long time to master and explain the sigils or explain like where they came from. So I believe that whoever places them on the video, there's a pretty high chance they are into spiritual Satanism, because if they are into the other type of Satanism and they don't believe that Satan even exists, why would these things be there? Now, my question is, does that mean that everyone who is into BTS is a spiritual Satanist, like the makeup artist, all the boys or all the girls in the groups? And my opinion is not necessarily. That's why I'm saying that I don't want the climate of fear, because just because someone participates in a video doesn't mean that they understand everything that is going on there. Of course, now skeptical people are going to say, come on, are you kidding? Like, they're grown as adults, how don't they know something is going on? Well, I want to remind you that there are a lot of people who don't believe that anything paranormal exists. So even if you tell them, you know, I'm just going to place this here for protection, they're going to treat you as some kind of mumbo jumbo and just ignore you altogether. Another thing to talk about is the whole selling your soul to Satan. I realized from my interactions and my investigation that Satanism is essentially an elitist religion and also has a reincarnation inside. It's like Buddhism, but a darker version, you could say. So a lot of them believe that you are born as a satanic soul and you have been a Satanist for many lives. So it's an honor, it's an elite club that not everyone can just join. So in that sense, it's like you don't exactly sell your soul, but you actually awaken your powers. If you have seen, the closest thing I can use to describe is there is a movie that came out in 2021 with Mark Wahlberg called Infinite that centers around reincarnation, and it's about the guy that he had lived many lives and he was part of an elite team who could remember his lives from lifetime to lifetime, and they were trying to help him get his memory back because he had an accident. So it's like you are who you have always been. So the people in the K-pop industry who believe that they're going to use sigils and they're going to worship Satan and get results are people who think that they were already like Satanists, or it's an honor for them, and it's not like someone who's being coerced or actually, forced that, you do that, blackmailed, or you're not going to be a K-pop idol. At least that's the explanation that I got from my research. I don't believe in witchcraft essentially that you can do things forced. And I say that about many different types. Your intention has to be yours. You have to truly want what you're doing. Otherwise, it's just not going to work, because essentially witchcraft is manipulation of energy. So how are you going to actually transfer tremendous amount of energy towards a goal or towards worshiping something if you don't believe that it exists? It just doesn't make sense. It's safe to assume that some people in the industry actually believe and wear it as a badge of honor. And what we call, like we common people call selling one's soul, is actually a dedication ritual, where I think it's the same in many religions, that every religion has a ritual that makes you part of the religion, but it's more of a, because of the media and because of the whole hype and horror movies and crimes that often depict like Satanism and religious information, that it emphasizes on that. Of course, that doesn't mean that it's not scary or it's not strange or it's not a big risk, because in my opinion, everything that you do like that is permanent is a risk. Because I believe that when you follow a religion for many years and you suddenly decide to leave, that is going to have consequences no matter what your religion is. Like, a lot of the K-pop idols start at a very young age, and if you come from a family that is not spiritually woke, they probably have no idea what's going on. Maybe there is an actual discussion if they want to join, but I don't believe they're forced to join personally, because like I said, they wouldn't be able to actually manifest the thing that they want to manifest. Now to the more interesting part, how to be sure, or how to be like protect yourself and not live in fear. The best thing, and the one thing that is not going to betray you if you allow yourself to relax and open your mind, is yourself. I have spoken about that on a previous video, that there are K-pop groups who do actual rituals and siphon energy and resources and essentially do what we call psychic vampirism. The psychic vampire is something that is a toxic person that you interact with them and you leave, and then you feel drained after you're away from them. But there is actually an entire type of magic called psychic vampirism that teaches the spellcaster how to drain a victim. So if you see people who just start following a K-pop group and all of a sudden it becomes their entire life, that's all they talk about, they dedicate their time, which is a currency, to create blogs and forums, they spend thousands of dollars to buy merch. I'm not talking about just treating yourself to something like merch from your group. I'm talking about people that I know that got a second job, or they didn't eat, or they traveled thousands upon thousands. Usually there is a spell there. And if you find yourself interacting with someone or with a group and become obsessed, and this obsession is actually consuming and harming your life, I would stay away from that specific group.